Today on the Trent Out Loud podcast. All right, you guys. Yes, we're going to talk about Diddy news and, of course, entertainment and pop culture. But I would be remiss to start this show off today without wishing all the beautiful and lovely mothers in the world a happy Mother's Day. And, of course, to the number one mother in the world, my mom, I wish you a very, very happy Mother's Day. And I'll see you soon. Love you. Happy Mother's Day, y'all. What up? It's Trent Out Loud, and I'm back with another episode. All right, depending on what time zone you're in, it's Sunday night or Monday morning. And to my Monday morningers, I know this is our least favorite day of the week, but do not worry because I have a great show to help you get you through your day. All right, you guys, I have a great show set up for you guys. I have 4 lead stories. We're going to kick it off by talking about the Diddy trial being delayed. Also, victim number 3 in the Diddy case says she never wanted to cooperate with the feds, and she actually never even wanted to testify. Diddy's defense team says Cassie was just as bad as he was, and there has been a new victim added to the case, victim number 5. In quick Diddy news, we're going to talk about Cassie being spotted in NYC with a huge pregnant belly. Mark Geragos still will not admit that he's Diddy's lawyer, and Al B. Sure is doing the most in interviews to try to bring Diddy down. In regular quick news, we're going to talk Tory Lanes, Kanye West, Kim Kardashian, the new Pope, Anthony Edwards, Rumi, Beyoncé, Donald Trump, and Fox News. As always, we're going to close out the show with comments of the day, social discussion of the day, question of the day, and a little bit of sports news. Y'all know what time it is. Turn your TVs, your radio, or your devices up. I'm about to start this show. Let's go. All right, you guys, I have a little bit of a breaking story. This is fresh out of Toronto. Shout out to the OVO crew. Drake's label, Universal Music Group, says that they will hand over all documents to Drake and his team as long as they keep it confidential. This is a big update in the Drake lawsuit with UMG. They tried to dismiss the case, delay the discovery. Now they said they will hand over everything as long as they keep it confidential. Here is the actual letter to the judge from people at Universal. And the caption is pretty much the same thing. A new development has been reported to have taken place in the legal battle between Universal Music Group and Drake. According to this, the label is reportedly ready to hand over all documents, providing Drake and his team keep it confidential. So again, this is the case between Drake and Universal Music with Not Like Us and Kendrick using the P word, the defamation case. Now, it seems as though Universal is trying to play nice. Let's not forget that it was court ordered. Drake and his team won the court order saying that Universal has to hand over these things in discovery, and Drake gets to depose people at Universal Music Group. I don't know if the judge is going to allow this confidential part. I would assume anyways that it's confidential, but like I said, this is just breaking. Give me 48 hours to look a little bit more into this. I will follow up and let you guys know on tomorrow's episode. But this is yet another win for Drake. We already told you that it was a big win already, the fact that the judge was allowing discovery, and there's a date set to see if this will be able to get dismissed. We told you guys that last week. So we'll see. Pretty big development. Drake has access to Kendrick Lamar's contract. He has access to emails. What's going on? What was behind the scenes with the Super Bowl, with the Grammy Awards? Did Universal Music really try to pump up Not Like Us to bury Drake, to hurt Drake, to defame Drake so that they could offer him less in his contract? Every time I talk about this court case, I have to remind you guys, for Drake and the OVO crew, this is not about the battle. Everybody keeps saying that. This is not about the battle. This is not about Kendrick Lamar. This solely has to do with Drake and him renegotiating his contract. There is behind the scenes conversation going on still in the negotiations with the contract. Drake is working on his album. I told you guys that 2 weeks ago or last week. He's going to submit the album soon, or submit ideas for the album. If it's great, if they know they have some bangers, that also helps Drake. And as soon as Universal gives Drake what he's owed, and I think nobody can argue this, whether you think that he lost the battle or if you think Kendrick is a better artist or not, Drake definitely deserves a billion-dollar contract. What he's done in the past 10 or 15 years is some things that no artist has ever done, or maybe 2 or 3 artists in his time has ever done. The amount of money he's made for streaming services and these labels, it's craziness. He definitely deserves this billion-dollar contract. If Universal gives him what he wants, a billion-plus contract, he will throw out this lawsuit. I can guarantee you that. I have direct sources that have told me that. It has nothing to do with Kendrick. It's really all about this renegotiation contract. And as much as I want this for Drake, again, has nothing to do with Kendrick. I want this for Drake. I understand Universal. This is business, right? It's, hey, how do we sign you again and give you the least amount of money? That's why it's so interesting for this. I understand both sides. This is business. That's why Drake suing him is a business move. It's not a hip hop move. It's not a culture move. It's straight business. These are two brands one is trying to get the most money, one is trying to keep their artist paying him the least amount of money. I do think it's a little bit dirty if Drake finds out that they did this to try to defame him, because at the end of the day, that's still their artist. So to defame him just to give him less money and then build them back after, it's a little dirty, but hey, the business world is not an easy place. All right. So that is it for now. Let's go on with the show. I will follow up on this and give you guys more details if I find out more. Yeah, I'll let you know. Let's go on with the show. Our first lead story. Victim number 3 never cooperated with the feds and she never wanted to testify. All right, lock in, y'all. I have a lot to tell y'all about victim number 3. And stay tuned after this article, because I even think I know who victim number 3 is. All right, the streets are talking. Anyways, the federal prosecutors are taking a big gamble with one of their star witnesses in Diddy's trial, because the woman they call victim number 3 has already made it clear that she does not want to testify. During jury selection this week, lead prosecutor Maureen Comey admitted the feds do not know whether the alleged victim, one of Diddy's ex-girlfriends, intended to appear in court to testify against him. Comey said the woman does not live locally, there's an issue getting in touch with her attorney, and she might not even show up to court despite being subpoenaed. Our sources with direct knowledge say the woman never cooperated with prosecutors and never gave them an indication that she would be willing to take the stand during the trial. That is huge. It begs the question, why did prosecutors add her to the Diddy indictment, and will they address her absence next week during opening statements? At this point, it's still unclear who prosecutors will call to testify at the beginning of the trial. Okay, I do have 2 little points to add in that a source told me. Let's just leave it at that, allegedly. About victim number 3. In a court filing right before jury selection, victim number 3 said that she wanted to use her name in court to testify, which means that was around a week ago, 2 weeks ago max. But then she, boom, disappeared. So little conflicting stories here. Some stories are saying, hey, she never wanted to testify, she never wanted to cooperate. But then I'm also hearing that in court, this is actually written and recorded, that victim number 3 said, hey, I want to testify and I want to use my real name. The prosecutors actually said that, okay? It's written down. You could Google it and check it. So very conflicting stories. The second thing is victim number 3 isn't there to testify for sex trafficking charges. She's there to testify about RICO charges. A lot of people forget about the RICO indictment, okay? Everybody's so concentrated with the sex and the, women selling themselves and all of that stuff. But there is still the big RICO charge, right? Which holds a hefty sentence if he's charged for that. Very difficult to charge somebody with RICO, especially one person. It's about a whole group of people, but let's not even get into that. Now, we have told you last week about some rumors that we were hearing about Diddy potentially doing something or having something to do with victim number 3 not appearing. That seems a lot more evident now that I showed you 2 different facts of, hey, she doesn't want to cooperate. She never wanted to cooperate. But then also there's court records saying, hey, if I testify, I want to testify on my own name. That tells you right there that she was hot and cold. I want to. And Diddy caught wind of that, and maybe allegedly his people took advantage of the situation. Now, I'm going to put up a picture and tell you a name of a girl, Gina Hun, spelled, let me just get the correct spelling here. Gina Hun, it's spelled Huynh. If you guys want to Google and do some research with her. She has done an interview with Tasha K. If you want to know more about her, Google and find that out, okay? She has been spilling the tea on Diddy for a while. That's why people are assuming that she is victim 3. Diddy has had a lot of girls, yes, but the fact that the prosecution is telling us this is one of Diddy's girlfriends narrows it down, right? He hasn't had that many public girlfriends. So a lot of people are now starting to realize who victim number 3 is. I'm not saying it's her. We're saying allegedly, but that's just some information. All right. So here's a picture. This is what Gina Hun looks like. Still, as of now, today, as I'm recording this, we don't know if victim number 3 or if Gina Hun will testify. This whole episode is preparing you for the week to come in the insane Diddy trial. By the way, this first week is going to be the most explosive week in the Diddy trial. We're going to talk about that later on today, but from what I heard, the prosecution is starting off with 2 victims, witnesses, and then Cassie is probably going to get to the case, get on the stand, hopefully Monday or Tuesday. And we all know that she is a star witness. So the prosecution is starting off with a bang, like a triple banger, right? So make sure y'all stay locked in. You know we're going to give you everything that you need to know, all right? Let's go on to the second Diddy story. Our second lead story, Diddy's defense team says the mogul traded blows with Cassie, saying they both put hands on each other. All right, this is talking about the CNN tape. Very, very interesting how the defense is going to defend this. Stay tuned after this article. I have some very important information, okay? Diddy's defense team is leaning in hard that the music mogul did put hands on his ex Cassie, but they're also saying that Cassie was no angel either because she allegedly was putting hands on him too. Day 4 of the Diddy trial saw prosecutor Emily Ann Johnson and Diddy's attorney Mark Agofino having a very interesting exchange with the judge in the New York City federal courtroom. It kicked off with Johnson telling the judge that victim 1, who is believed to be Cassie, will not be cross-examined about certain medical issues. The judge then said if prosecutors open the door on the rest of the issues, the defense can walk through it and cross-examine the witness. Then Agofino said the defense is going to take the position that they mutually were putting hands on each other in the relationship, noting that that was happening on both sides. He added, we are going to admit that Diddy was putting hands on Cassie, but at what point does it become coercive? The judge wanted to clarify Agofino's remarks, asking whether you're arguing that they were just putting hands on each other. Agofino responded, right. Johnson said that she would submit a letter to the court on this topic, going on to say she planned to offer 2 cell phone videos and the corrected CNN footage of the infamous 2016 Diddy and Cassie Intercontinental Hotel videotape. All right, let's talk about this CNN videotape and what the defense plans to do with it, okay? That's why I said earlier, this case is going to be make or break within the first couple of days because the prosecution is going right for it. Now, Diddy's defense team is coming out and saying, yes, this happened, or they're going to come out and say, yes, this happened. You see the tape. However, y'all didn't see what happened in the hotel room prior. Diddy was defending himself, which is going to be super hard to get across to the jury because y'all see the tape and Cassie was not doing anything to Diddy in that tape, so it's going to be really hard to say that he was defending himself. However, there were not cameras in the hotel room prior, okay? But let me tell you what else they're going to try to do. And this is the reason why Diddy has 8 of the most powerful and best defense attorneys, okay? With the defense saying that Cassie is also putting hands on Diddy, we don't know if there's proof. We don't know that. There could be some sort of text messages, or there could be some sort of witness when the defense gets a time to put out their witness saying that they've witnessed Cassie putting hands on Diddy. We do not know that. A lot of people are rushing saying this is a horrible defense, but we don't know what they have to prove that. So that's one thing. More importantly, just in the article, it says that the judge is going to allow Diddy's defense team to cross-examine Cassie. Okay? Now, just remember, she is under oath. And if she gets caught up and she stumbles on her words, if she lies, it's over for her. If the defense team can discredit Cassie even a little bit or bring a little reasonable part of doubt in any of the jurors' mind, and really just one juror's mind, this case is over with. And that's why I keep on saying this case is going to be make or break within the first week. This is why Diddy has 8 defense lawyers, and he has a black man, a black woman, a white woman, and a white man. He has every ethnicity because he knows that the prosecution has a great amount of evidence. However, this case revolves around testimony, and great lawyers can get anybody caught up when they are on the stand. And if she gets caught in the lie, it's bad. Think about if you've ever been to like a border crossing, or if you ever get pulled over by the police and they start questioning you and asking you things, you get nervous and you get caught up and you sum up on words and they ask you things and you know you didn't do anything wrong, but it's just the fact that the police are questioning you. Or if, like I said, if you're ever going to a border crossing, if you're traveling somewhere international, they're like, what are you traveling for? You're like, I'm going on vacation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You get like caught up. Times that by 100, being on trial, one of the trials of the centuries, being cross-examined by the best lawyers in the world. If she gets caught up, if she says, no, I've never put hands on him, and they have an inkling of evidence or a witness that says, hey, I saw Cassie did that, it's over. So we are all saying now, or I've seen a bunch of people saying, this is a horrible defense strategy. Why are they trying to say that Cassie did that? You'll see on the tape. Yes, that videotape is very hard to watch. And Diddy is a very sick man. However, we don't know what happened in their 10-year relationship. And if she ever put hands on him and she gets up there and lies and they have an inkling of proof, she's discredited. The jury has to convict beyond a reasonable doubt, and that will put doubt in their head. Just want to make clear, not trying to get Diddy off. I told you guys yesterday or last week, I actually think Diddy is sick, like really sick in his head mentally, and he needs to sit down in jail for a while. I don't know if he broke laws or not, but I know that man is sick with all this research I have done understanding this trial. However, these prosecutors have to prepare their witnesses so well. And we have already talked about Gina, victim number 3, leaving. Cassie's got to be very, very careful up on that stand. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. Our third lead story. Jury selection in Sean Diddy Combs' trial has been delayed. Opening statements to begin on Monday, immediately following swearing in of the jury. All right, let's just jump into this because there has been a lot of misconceptions out there. Yes, there has been a delay, but we'll tell you guys everything about it, all right? The jury selection in Sean Combs' trafficking and racketeering trial has been delayed until Monday after prosecutors from the Southern District of New York and Combs' high-powered criminal defense team spent the majority of this week quizzing potential jurors on their backgrounds and knowledge of the case. The reason for the delay was concern from both the U.S. District Judge and Combs's lawyers that some jurors would get cold feet over the weekend and wish to excuse themselves from the high-profile celebrity case. To prevent that from happening, on Monday morning, both sides will whittle down the remaining 43 jurors into a final group of 12 men and women and 6 alternates who will ultimately decide the hip-hop mogul's fate. Opening statements will begin immediately afterwards around 9:30 a.m. The judge was clear he expected the trial, which is expected to last approximately 8 weeks, to stay on track. Prosecutors have stressed that they have time-sensitive witnesses, victim 1, who is expected to take the stand early on in the case. Although not named in court documents, it's clear victim 1 is Combs' ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, who is several months along in her 3rd pregnancy. All right, that's the official statement. Y'all know me. Let's go to the sources, right? About the delay on till Monday. I've heard allegedly that they wanted the weekend to do some extra work. If those who are not seeing the video, I'm making very large air quotes. They are blaming it on the judge and the prosecutor and the jury having cold feet, but give me a break. Some people are saying Diddy is actually considering and talking with the prosecution about making a plea deal. Now, it's tough. I got to be careful here. I told you guys last week that Diddy officially in court documentations rejected a plea deal. And I also told you that I heard rumors that the plea deal was upwards of 20 to 25 years. Now, Diddy is 55 years old. That makes him coming out at 80. Why would anybody take that? That makes no sense. Apparently, something in the prosecution, perhaps victim number 3, not showing up or deciding to talk, made the prosecution realize that their case had a little chink in their armor and was not as strong. And any expert will tell you that. If you bring apart charges and you say, hey, we have 4 or 5 victims, and say all of a sudden, shoot, one is not going to show up, it makes it a little less strong. So because of that, I've heard that the prosecution came back quietly, indirectly, and was like, yo, okay, how about we give you this plea deal? And I'm hearing, allegedly, that it was in the lane of 10 to 15 years. And Diddy and his team came back and was like, we would consider something around 5 years. Now, the problem with the 5 years is that there's minimums, right? In every sentence or every charge, there's a minimum and a maximum. You cannot have a plea deal for something, for a charge that's less than the minimum. And none of his charges have a 5-year minimum. So this is the problem. And they wanted the weekend to kind of rework things, what I'm hearing. Now, the prosecution was very smart when they laid these charges. They left the door open for superseding indictments, meaning at any time they could add more charges or take away charges. So they could say, all right, these charges have a minimum of 10 and over. How about we charge you with this, and then you cop a plea to that, and it will give you 5 years. Now, I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying that is apparently what I heard is happening over the weekend. Now, for any of you that have any experiences in court, this goes on all the time. Very, very normal, very typical, especially levels with lawyers at this level. This is the highest level you get. This goes on all the time. All throughout trial, there will be conversations of a plea deal almost every day. That happens in small cases and in big cases, okay? Every case that I've ever been involved with, there's always like, hey, we didn't have a really great day, or you had a bad week or whatever. Hey, you want me to open the door? At any time it could happen. It just happened in the Young Thug trial, where it was the longest case in Georgia history, and it ended up in a plea deal. A lot of people forget about that, right? Yes, he copped to some pleas. Yes, technically he was found guilty. Technically, the feds still have a charge, However, he still copped a plea, and that was after 2 years. So it could happen at any time. As I'm recording this, there of course is no deal. We'll let you know if anything does come up. I don't think Diddy is going to cop to a deal. Just knowing Diddy, and y'all know Diddy too, Diddy is way too arrogant. He's way too narcissistic to ever think that he would ever cop to any sort of plea at all. If anything, it's his lawyers trying to convince him, thinking about taking 5 years, but there's no way that Diddy is going to cop a plea and be inside for 5 years. I just do not see it happening. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fourth quick story. New witness revealed in disgrace mogul's case as Cassie prepares to testify. All right, strap in. I'm going to give you guys the lowdown on victim number 5, everything that you need to know, and why the judge let this in at the last minute. Very controversial. Anyways, on Friday, it emerged that prosecutors have added someone to the witness list they are calling victim number 5. The defense had tried to keep their story out of the trial, but the judge admitted some of their testimony. Diddy's lead attorney revealed the defense will claim the rapper and his ex-girlfriend Cassie engaged in mutual putting hands on each other throughout their relationship. Diddy will reportedly admit to putting hands on Cassie while claiming he is innocent of sex trafficking and racketeering. The defense tried to keep the new witness testimony from trial, but the judge ruled at least some will be admitted in court. However, the judge said the alleged victim will not be granted anonymity. Prosecutors suggest in court documents that the witness will speak about an act of sex misconduct that Diddy has not been charged with in the case, but will show patterns of behavior. Okay, let's break that down, okay? The victim number 5's testimony will go down as 403B and 1413 in the evidence code as a prior bad act. Now, what does a prior bad act mean? Diddy did something to victim number 5 a long time ago. We're not here to prove if he did it or not, or if it's past the statute of limitation. But it proves that Diddy was a bad person and he did prior bad acts. Now, some of you might be saying, well, if he hasn't done it, if we have not proved if he's done it or not, or if this is real or not, why is it admissible? That's why only parts of it are being admissible. And it's still very controversial. This is what somebody told me. It is typically not admissible because the fact that Diddy allegedly did that to victim number 5, it doesn't mean that he did that to Cassie or victim number 2, 3, or 4. It's very controversial because typically our court systems punish people for bad acts, not for being bad actors. But the judge, for some reason, allowed it. The downside for victim number 5 is that she is allowed to testify, but she cannot testify under a Jane Doe, which she allegedly never wanted to do. She said, all right, I'll testify, but I want to do under a Jane Doe. So the judge was like, I shouldn't allow this, but I will. But if you do testify, you have to testify under your own name. So the judge was controversial and was not really fair in allowing it. But the flip side, a little small advantage to Diddy is that she cannot testify under a Jane Doe. If she decides to testify, she will have to give her full name and face Diddy, and we'll see if she shows up. So it's put in there. We don't know if she's going to show up or not. I'm not a lawyer, but I don't like the fact that this is controversial, that this is not typically how things are done. Because what have I said to you guys for the past 2 weeks that we've drilling down in this Diddy trial? You have to be very careful of mistrials, and you have to be very careful of appeals. And I told you all that I think Diddy is sick and he definitely needs to sit down in jail for a while, whether he broke the law or not. The prosecution is looking a little desperate, if you're asking me. And I have said that I have heard and we have evidence that the judge is being very fair on both sides. And I think in his head, he's like, I'm going to be fair. I'm going to let part of this in, but she cannot testify under Jane Doe. She has to put her full name. I would just prefer not to bring this person in. Just my own point of view. You have two wishy-washy witnesses. one victim number 5 that might show up, might not show up. Only part of her testimony could be admissible, and it's there to testify that that Diddy was a bad person in the past and he's a bad actor. It's being what's the word I'm looking for? It's being notified, like it's being registered, like I said, under evidence code 403B and 413 as prior bad acts. What do we care about prior bad acts? We want to know what we can prove. Can we prove he did that to Cassie? Yeah, we have a videotape. Focus on that. You know what I'm saying? Focus on whatever you have with the other witnesses. Focus on the text messages, not the things that you cannot prove. Anyways, I don't like this. It makes me nervous. This could be grounds for a mistrial. A lot of experts are saying this is not recommended, but y'all sound off below. I'm here to just give you all the facts and to let you guys decide on what you think they should do. I don't like this, y'all. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to quick Diddy news. Ring my bell. Our first quick Diddy news. I'm trying to like this new quick Diddy news because there's little like quick things that I get to tell you and I could just throw it all in here. Anyways, Cassie, here's the whole truth and nothing but the truth. My baby bump is huge. All right. Cassie is set to testify against Diddy in his federal trial, and it better be sooner than later because it looks like she may need to rest, recuperate, and get ready for baby number 3 soon. Photographers snapped Cassie out in New York City Wednesday, standing on a stoop in a gray sweater that just barely covers her massive baby bump. It's hard to tell exactly how far along the singer-songwriter is here, though she did announce she's with child back in February, but it's clear she's deep into pregnancy mode now, and she'll be waddling up to the witness stand soon to testify. As you know, Cassie is one of 4 alleged victims set to testify against Diddy, and she's the only one who will not be using a pseudonym or otherwise remaining anonymous during the proceeding. All right, this is so bad for Diddy. We have, of course, heard that Cassie was pregnant. We all knew. But after seeing this picture, oh my gosh, so bad. This is 100% the reason why the prosecution was so against Diddy delaying the trial for 2 months after they applied their superseding indictments, which I think the judge should have allowed them because it could be grounds for mistrial or appeal, but I digress. But yeah, it is going to be so hard to cross-examine Cassie on that stand and paint her in any sort of bad light. She's just not a little pregnant, like she is like big pregnant. Credit to Diddy and his team. They have, I think, 3 women or maybe I think 4 women on the defense team. I pray for their sake that they allow a woman to cross-examine her, and which will make things a little bit easier. If they're smart, they'll acknowledge her pregnancy. You know, hey, you look good, you're glowing, congratulations, da-da-da. I would kind of like warm up with that and be like, hey, it's super hard to talk about the past. However, hey, you did bring this case against Diddy, this civil suit, and you have been cooperating. So you clearly want to be here and you clearly want this case and you clearly want to bring Diddy down. So sorry that you have to go through this during a pregnancy, but this all started because of you and you clearly want to be here, correct? Yes. Okay, cool. Boom. So that will just negate everything. If they are good lawyers, that is what I would do. I would start off with that and you just, you know, you take away all of that pregnancy out of there and the jury in their head is like, yo, for real. Like, I'm not going to feel sorry for you because you're pregnant. It's because of you while we're all here right now. And during this beautiful summer, we're going to be locked in here for 2 months because of you, Cassie, right? So that's what I said earlier. Great defense lawyers, really smart defense lawyers. You can get anybody off no matter whatever the evidence is. I mean, to an extent, right? If you catch somebody red-handed, no, you can't. But when things are up like this for up to speculation, great defense attorneys can, you know, change the perception of things if they're very smart with words. So she's super pregnant, but a great lawyer could flip that around in 2 seconds. Our second quick Diddy story, Mark Geragos scolded by Diddy's judge. All right, I want to play this quick video for you. This is TMZ's and Harvey and Mark Geragos' podcast, which is which is ironically no longer up on Tubi. I don't know if it was never up, but I went to check to watch it and it's not there, ironically. But I was able to grab this little preview, and Mark Geragos still will not admit that he's Diddy's lawyer. Listen to this video, and I'm going to tell you speculation on what Mark Geragos is up to. This is very alleged, but unfortunately, it does make sense. They're up to some trickery. Take a listen to this video, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about when you come back.
Is the judge viewing you as a member of the defense team? Because you have been all over that courthouse this week. And are you on the Diddy defense team? Because I can't get a straight answer from you.
Right, and I'm not going to engage with you on that.
Okay, let me give you the tea. Like, this is like a tall glass of tea. I'm hearing that Mark Geragos is not admitting to being one of Diddy's lawyers, and that he is straddling the fence. He is in the courtroom. He's there every day. He's saying that he's friends with Diddy. He represented Diddy in the past, but because he's not part of the defense team, he's still going to continue talking on podcasts and talking to the press. Y'all know that Diddy's lawyers are very limited or gagged of what they can say to the media. They're not allowed to talk, but because Mark is technically not on the defense team, he is. What I'm hearing is that they're planting an escape card that if Diddy gets found guilty, that this could be grounds for a mistrial and grounds for an appeal. The fact that Tenny Geragos, who is one of Diddy's lead attorney, her father is out here talking to the media, and he said some things that were wrong or misleading, and that tainted the jury. The jury's not sequestered, and that is grounds for a mistrial, and that is grounds for an appeal. Super far-fetched, but technically it could work. So he's basically putting himself out there, straddling the line. If you guys remember last week, the judge brought him into chambers and warned him about being on the podcast and said, I'll be listening to your podcast. So it's there in court documents, registered, that Mark Geragos is being warned. And the judge said, I'll be listening to the podcast. So if things are looking bad for Diddy, or if he's found guilty, then Mark Geragos could say something, spill the beans, and be like, listen, we warned you, this was wrong, boom, mistrial, let's do it all over again. And I told you guys, the advantage to a mistrial is all the secrets that the prosecution had are let out. The defense team will know all the witnesses, all their plans, and their whole strategy. Now, could they build a new strategy for a second trial? Yes, they could, but it's obviously not going to be as good as your first, right? Like in a sports analogy, when you call an audible, it's never normally as good as the first one. Sometimes it could be, but not. Anyways, that's what I'm hearing. I don't know if it's true or not. However, it could be a little bit of a smart plan. I'm not going to lie, but this is what happens when you have the best defense attorneys in the world. I keep telling you guys, it's not about the evidence. It's really about how great Diddy's defense team is, and all of the, some of you might think wrong, but this is the court system, and this is the advantage of the defense. There's a lot of things that they could do for grounds for a mistrial or an appeal. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our third quick Diddy news. I'll Be Sure believes Diddy was behind his 2022 coma due to multiple organ failure, says he's willing to testify in upcoming trial, and refutes claims that Kim Porter was unalived by pneumonia, says she was in the best of health. All right, I have a little video, but before this, I'll Be Sure is not holding back. He recently sat down with Good Day Today to double down on his belief that Kim Porter was not unalived by pneumonia. And he claims Diddy and his associates were behind his mysterious 2022 incident. This is the first time he's actually come out and said that Diddy was responsible. Don't know if that was smart of him. I digress. During the interview, Al said he's finally ready to speak his truth. He recounted the moment he suddenly collapsed and is calling his health crisis completely unpredicted and suspicious. This is the first time he suggested that Diddy may have had something to do with it. He also revealed that he repeatedly tried to contact law enforcement about sex trafficking allegations against Diddy, but was ignored and treated as if he was crazy, suggesting that the authorities were in cahoots with the diddler. Apparently, he's being subpoenaed to testify in Diddy's upcoming trial and confirmed that he is willing to take the stand. Still, he clarifies that Diddy being locked up is not a celebration, claiming there is lots of collateral damage involved. He ended by saying he's simply telling his truth and that this is not a stunt to promote his new book. Let me tell you all something. When somebody tells you, hey, I'm only doing this for this reason and not for that, it's for the that part. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have to be like, hey, I'm not doing this to promote my book, you're promoting your book, bro. Anyways, listen to these allegations. If Diddy was not caught up in everything he's caught up, trust me, he would sue I'll Be Sure right now. But anyways, take a look.
So do you think specifically then that Sean Diddy Combs or people affiliated with him did something to you that caused you to have multi-organ failure?
I believe this to be the case, yes. Absolutely.
Wow.
My first time saying it.
Are you concerned that he still has power outside of incarceration?
Remember, I'm the only one who spoke up, and I'm the only one left alive. The wonderful Kim Porter, the late Kim Porter, who, kind of warned me all along the way to, just kind of watch your back, so on and so forth, and I didn't understand why.
Because of Diddy?
Basically.
Do you believe that she died of pneumonia?
Absolutely not.
Why? What evidence do you have?
She was in the best of health.
Now, I try my best not to talk about I'll Be Sure, to be honest with you, because everything that he says, you have to take with a grain of salt. Why is he only making this bombshell statement right now as his book is coming out? You know what I'm saying? Like, he's done interviews and he's talked and he's, been wishy-washy, but now all of a sudden, the minute that your book is coming out, you want to make these bombshell statements so that everybody could talk about it. If you're really looking to ride for Kim, if you're really looking to take Diddy off the streets, do it without trying to benefit off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, put out your book after the case. And I'm not saying not to write your book. He has a right to tell his own story, but to do it now and to say these things now and make these allegations now as your book is coming out, I just think that it's distasteful. And I think that it actually is a discredit to Kim. I think it's a discredit to the victims. And if I were the victims or involved with the victims in any way, I wouldn't want anything to do with him, because you're clearly not doing this for me or to help others. You're clearly doing this for you. And that is selfish. And that's why I don't like I'll Be Sure. Not saying that his facts are not true. Not saying that whatever about Kim Porter, nothing. Just the way he's going about doing it is a little disgusting. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fourth quick Diddy story. All right, guys, I have 3 or 4 little quick things. I'm just putting it all in one section, okay? The first thing I want to talk about, just me personally, if the prosecution is going to bring up Cassie and the 2 other victims in day 1 or day 2, what are they going to talk about for the next 6 weeks? Am I the only one that thinks about this? Like, is the next 5 weeks just going to be like police, investigators, experts, etc., etc.? Like, why are they starting off with Cassie right away? Now, some experts are like, hey, they just want to get right in the jury's head right away and then just have the next 6 weeks be expert testimony, etc. Who knows? That's just something to think about. Another thing that I've heard is be prepared for a Cassie smear campaign. Like, from what I heard, it's apparently going to be done tastefully because, like we talked earlier, she's pregnant. But apparently, if the defense gets their way, we are going to think differently about Cassie. I don't know what it is. I don't know what evidence it is, but just think how many times you have thought amazingly about somebody and you find something out and all of a sudden it's a complete different story, i.e. Shannon Sharpe, right? You heard one thing come out and it's like the fall from grace. Diddy, I don't think it's that big of a fall from grace because we've been hearing about things for years, but apparently there's going to be, in this case, a smear campaign, of course, for the jury and also for the public. She has been held in such high regard. However, this is what I am hearing, okay? Publicly and in court. Another thing is, I heard there will be celebrity witnesses on Diddy's side. If you guys remember, in the questionnaire for the jury, there was 190 celebrity names listed. I'm not saying there's going to be 190 that are going to be put out there and everybody on there is going to be a witness, but from what I heard, there are going to be some celebrity witnesses on Diddy's side. Now, I really don't think any celebrity is going to come out and talk about freak offs, but it might be on the side of, hey, I've been to a Diddy party and this is not true, and I've been there, I've been this, and what people are saying is not true. The prosecution, we told you earlier, is really trying to paint this picture of Diddy being a bad person and using bad boy records in a negative light. That's the RICO charge. And I feel like they might try to bring some celebrities to kind of whittle down that perception that these parties were horrible. I don't think it's really the best idea, because what celebrity could they bring in that you're going to be like, oh, yeah, I believe them? Most people have negative interpretations of rich, high-end, elite celebrities, right? So we shall see. The last piece of tidbit is I had some information on Victim 2. In court filings, prosecutors have said Victim 2 is expected to deliver anonymous testimony about financial losses, dependency, and social isolation she experienced during her relationship, all of which made her more vulnerable to his coercion. So that is what we know about Victim 2, all right? That is all the little tidbit information that we have about Diddy. I think we have one little quick thing in quick news, but let's go on to regular quick news. All right, this brings us to regular quick news. Ring my bell. Our first quick story. A recent image of Tory Lanes was shared to his IG account as he continues to serve time behind bars. All right, if y'all are wondering how Tory Lanes is doing, here it is. Here's a picture of Tory behind bars. Just remember, there is an appeal trial coming up for Tory Lanes in the Megan Thee Stallion case. Keep talking about appeals. Some of y'all don't believe me. If Tory can get an appeal, trust me, billionaire Diddy will have appeal if anybody messes up along the way, and nothing is going to be perfect. Anyways, here is Tory and whatever, normal jail pose, jail look. You know what I'm saying? It looks like he's a little bit buff doing some weights. What else are you going to do in there? Let me know what y'all think about this in the comment section below. Our second quick story. Yay to Kim Kardashian. Quit exploiting North, leaving her unattended. I will go to battle for my kids. The rapper's lawyer, Kathy Johnson, sent Kim's attorney a cease and desist letter concerning North, St. Chicago, and Psalms West. As you know, Kim and Kanye got divorced in 2021 after 7 years of marriage and 4 kids. As part of the divorce settlement, they have joint custody of their kids, and Kanye West pays $200,000 every month in child support. In a cease and desist, Kanye West claims Kim violated his rights and their divorce settlement in 3 ways. First, Kanye says Kim brought North to the Met Gala in New York City earlier this week, and he makes some ridiculous claims, which I'm not even going to read to you guys, okay? He sent the cease and desist. It's ridiculous. It's Kanye West doing ridiculous Kanye West things. Allegedly, Kim Kardashian is thinking about and looking into trying to take full custody away from, or take full custody, meaning that Kanye will have no custody. I don't know if I love that idea, but the past month, Kanye West has literally been ridiculous. So I might be a little bit on her side. Anyways, Kanye West is just doing this now to make that process a little bit difficult. Because if you go to the court saying, hey, I'm an excellent parent and I want to take full custody of my children, well, really, what was this cease and desist? Well, what was this? What was that? So just typical lawyer games. I'll let you know what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Kanye West should still have custody of his children? Maybe we'll bring it into social discussion one day. As for now, just let me know in the comment section below. Our third quick story. The new Pope is black. Well, I think they mean part black or have some black in him. Listen to this video. Take a listen.
The new Pope is part black American. Yes. His mother, Mildred Prevost, was born to Joseph M. Martinez. It says he was born in Haiti, so I had to dig deeper. Here is the census record where he's listed as Negro or Black in 1920. This is the Pope's great-grandfather, Jack Theodore Martinez. Some people are saying his middle name was Theodore, but as you can see, he's listed as mulatto, and it says Taylor. There's Norval, Joseph Norval Martinez right there. That's the Pope's grandfather. So what we do know for sure is that this new Pope is partially Black American Creole with a grandfather who was born in Haiti because his father was a sailor.
Shout out to the new Pope. What up, dog? Our fourth quick story. Anthony Edwards accuses Aisha Howard of devising a calculated plan to conceive a child with him, wants her sanctioned after she submitted ovulation tracker as evidence. All right, Ant-Man, I don't care about all of this. The point is that you have a kid with her and you need to take care of your child and see your child. Gosh, I get so upset when I read things like this, but let's talk about it. Anthony Edwards is asking a judge to sanction his baby mama, Aisha Howard, accusing her of manipulating and engaging in unjustifiable conduct through their paternity battle. According to In Touch magazine, Howard is pushing back against Aisha's recent plea to revisit their previous order that ruled child support would be set in California. He insists that they never did the wild thing in the state. He also claims Aisha has failed to prove she's a legal California resident, stating that she hasn't submitted any signed leases, utility bills, or other credible documents. His attorney argued her only contacts with the states are part of a bad faith attempt to game the system and mislead the court into securing a California child support order. Edwards' financial team calls her actions a planned financial decision, even blasting her for previously submitted ovulation tracker data as evidence in their ongoing case. They argue it suggests a calculated plan to conceive a child with Anthony, raising disturbing questions about Aisha's motives. As a result, they asked the judge to impose sanctions on her. So far, no ruling has been made. All right, listen, as I always say during this, I'm not on Aisha's side. I'm not here to say if she conceived the plan, she had ovulation tracker, whatever. The whole California thing, if she's trying to be out in California now saying that she's living out there, which would get her more money under California child law, she might be wrong in all of that. However, the child is born. Anthony Edwards, why don't you go and see your child? That's my only problem with you. Yo, bring Aisha to court. Do whatever you want, bro. I really just disagree with you not acknowledging or seeing a child that is living on this earth. It drives me nuts. And I'm going for Minnesota in this playoff berth. You know, it drives me nuts that he's doing this. It's very, very hard to root for him. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Our fifth quick story, the difference between night 2 and night 4 on Beyoncé and Rumi's Cowboy Carter tour. I like how they called it Beyoncé and Rumi's Cowboy Carter tour. All right, I have played a video for you guys before with Rumi coming out, and she was super excited and waving to everybody. Here is a side-by-side video of Rumi now, after she maybe has gone through a little bit of lessons and maybe some talking from Beyoncé and manager Blue of like, listen, we're on stage, we don't get too excited. Some people are like, listen, we missed the old Rumi being like all excited, but anyways, it's just nice to see her growth. Let's just put it that way. Take a look at this side-by-side video. Yo, that little wave when she's like, the cutest thing ever. And then when Blue walks up and she's like, okay, now, and just goes, yeah, it's super cute, man. Like, I want to go to a concert just to see that. Anyway, shout out to Beyoncé, man. That is just beautiful. Forget about the money, the music, or whatever. Seeing what her and Jay were able to do with their family, all the speculation and all that stuff. This is just a beautiful moment. Shout out to Queen Bee and Jay. Our sixth quick story, Donald Trump, President Donnie, has signed a new executive order launching a voluntary deportation program offering $1,000 and free flights for undocumented immigrants. Any illegal alien can simply show up to any airport or at any airport. I have a little video, but first I want to give you guys some more details. Donald Trump just dropped a new immigration program that got everybody talking. It's called Project Homecoming, and it's designed to encourage undocumented immigrants to leave the U.S. voluntarily. And yes, you read that right. They are offering cash. We're talking up to $1,000 for those who decided to bounce on their own. Here's how it works. Immigrants who use the CBP Home app to set up their departure can get a check after they leave, but only after their return is confirmed. Secretary of Homeland Security confirmed these details, saying any illegal alien who uses the CBP Home app to self-deport will also receive $1,000 paid after their return to their home country has been confirmed. Basically, the government is making it easier and cheaper for people to leave without getting caught up in the usual costly deportation process. Deporting somebody the traditional way costs around $17,000 per person, while this plan costs way less. But let's keep it real, the move is also controversial. Critics are already questioning the ethics of paying somebody to leave voluntarily. Is this a smart move? Let us know in the comments below. Here is a video. Take a listen.
Today, I signed an executive order to launch the first ever self-deportation program for illegal aliens. We are making it as easy as possible for illegal aliens to leave America. Any illegal alien can simply show up at an airport and receive a free flight out of our country. As long as it's not here, you can go anywhere you want. We're also adding a very important exit bonus for illegals to further incentivize their self-deportation.
All right, let's discuss this a little bit. Now, of course, on the onset, it seems great, right? Like, hey, you know what? We're offering you a free flight. We're offering you $1,000. And they also say that this will give you a better chance of coming back the legal way. But that's the part where I think a lot of people are on the fence. It's like you have to literally admit to breaking the law, and there's no guarantees that you can come back in applying legally. So, of course, people are like, hey, is this a trap? Like, you're paying $1,000 for me to just admit that I'm breaking the law? I think if Donald Trump and his administration really wanted this to work, the thing that they should do, even more than the money, is say, hey, any illegal alien that uses this program will give you a free flight. Let's even throw in $1,000. We'll give you a free flight and $1,000. We'll send you back, and this will guarantee you re-entry into the United States within the next 5 years, pending an investigation that you're whatever it is, you have a job, or you're going to do this, or you've had these certain criterias. Like, I would give them criterias, but guarantee that if they fit these criterias, then they will be allowed back in. If you really want illegal, undocumented people to leave, grant them permission to come back legally before you ask them to leave, instead of just being like, yo, we're going to give you $1,000 on a flight to go back home. You might be allowed back in. How many people are really going to sign up? Now, I've been super busy with this Diddy trial. I haven't done enough research, I'll admit, to find out how many people have applied for this, but I'll try to find out the answer and let you guys know sometime this week. If any of you guys have any more information, I'd really like to know how many people have signed up for this and is it working? Let me know in the comment section below. Sorry, I just had to jump back in here. Y'all know I like to do research. I just read 2 quick articles. I haven't heard of one person. I haven't found of one person that has signed up for this yet. If you guys know, let me know. Our 7th quick story. Fox News analyst faints live on air in the middle of a rant about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris being incompetent. All right, I'm going to play the video here for you. 2 things here. I don't know why news or certain news places or blog sites are letting us know what she was talking about before she fainted. Like, who cares if she was talking about Trump or Kamala Harris or Joe Biden or whatever? Like, she's obviously not well. And second of all, you'll hear the person who's interviewing her, he says too, like, okay, well, talk to somebody else. Like, she just fainted. Like, who cares about what's going on? See if she's all right first. You know what I mean? Like, everybody is so concerned about getting a story or concerned about politics. Be more concerned if she's all right. This guy's like, oh, we're going to cut to another story now. Anyways, watch the video.
They put her as the border czar. She never went to the border. So this is about incompetency. It's not about ideology, or it's not about...
Oh my goodness. We're just going to get some help here for Cameron. Let me come back to Lydia while we get some help for Cameron here. Lydia, the President, we're going to go to a break right here. We'll be right back.
For those who want to see the full video, we posted it up on our blog page, formerly Out Loud on Instagram, FORMALLY, Out Loud, if you want to see the full thing. All right. I hope she is well. Actually, I did hear she did put out a statement after saying that she was okay and she was recovering. I don't know exactly the reason why she fainted, but she's okay. So glad that part is at least out. All right, y'all. This brings me to my favorite segment, comments of the day. All right, before we get to the comments, I have a very, very important question for you guys. Is your computer, laptop, or cell phone vulnerable to data breaches? Well, let me answer that question for you. Yes, they are if you're not using Aura, the all-in-one digital security platform. Our sponsor for the comment section, my favorite digital security app, Aura. Go to my sponsor, aura.com/Trent Out Loud to get a 14-day free trial and see if any of your data has been exposed. All jokes aside, seriously, this is a really great 14-day trial for anybody that's on the internet or on computer or cell phone, which is all of us, all right? Let me tell you more about it. If you've ever wondered how scammers get your phone numbers or why your inbox is filled with spam, here is why. There are companies called data brokers and they sell your data. They do it without your consent and they make billions selling your information to marketers, scammers, and even stalkers. Honestly, the stalker part is actually really scary. This is why I recommend today's sponsor, Aura, to my family, friends, and the Out Louders. Aura takes care of the hard part for you, automatically removing your information from these sites and, more importantly, keeping it off. Aura is an all-in-one digital security platform. You may already have a digital security tool, but not having Aura is like locking your front door and keeping your back door open. With Aura, you get alerts if any of your personal information is found on the dark web anywhere across the internet at all. You'll get alerts. They have real-time fraud alerts for credit and banking, a secure VPN, antivirus, password protection, and they have a US-based support system that is available around the clock. And if anything goes wrong, which it will never happen, but if anything does go wrong, Aura also includes a $5 million identity theft insurance package protection for you. All right. So anytime there's a breach, anything that happens, you have protection. So you never have to worry. You can get Aura free for 14 days right now with the link below. And I'll also put up the QR code. Just take out your phone, point it at the screen, or bring you right to my link. In those 2 weeks, after you click the link and sign up, in those 2 weeks, Aura can discover if any of your information has already been exposed on the dark web. Crazy. And they'll do that for free in the 14 days that you sign up. All right. So, any of you wondering, and if you scared being online, that scares me like crazy, sign up right now. The link below, QR code. For those of you who have not ever heard about Aura, they are the leader, and they also used to be the jersey logo for the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I'm going for in this NBA playoff. So here's a picture of Anthony Edwards, who we're very mad at right now, and also Karl Anthony Towns that used to play. So yeah, I think they were the jersey logo for 2021 and 22 season. Shout out to Aura. All right, let's move on over to my favorite comment section. Seeing today is Mother's Day, or depending on when you're watching this, today is Mother's Day or yesterday is Mother's Day. I wanted to start off from a comment from my mother. Congrats on your 500th podcast. So proud to be your mama. Heard you say some nice positive things about me. Appreciate it. I have to give you credit for being an absolutely smart person and happy you have so many people love you. Keep being humble. You will get a long way. This is my favorite part. I should have known you would do well with this entertainment podcast, which you do a lot of talking, because as a kid, you always wanted to have the last say. I thought that was so funny. I should have known you would have good. I should have known you would have done well at this talking thing because you talk a lot on your podcast. Thanks, Mom. But yes, as a kid, I always wanted to discuss. I always wanted to argue, and I always wanted to have the last say. I'm telling you, I've always been like this. I told you guys in episode 500 when I took your questions, I was like, I didn't know that it was 50 minutes long, but I've always been long-winded. I've always liked to talk. And yes, I should have been doing a podcast a long time ago. Shout out to my mom who watches every single episode. All jokes aside, I know a lot of sons say this, but I honestly, truly believe that I won the lottery and I have the best mother in the world. I'll read to you guys quickly what I sent to my mom today for Mother's Day. I said, Happy Mother's Day to the best and greatest mother this planet has ever seen. My greatest gift in this world I have is you as my mother. Thank you for everything. And that's just not wordplay. Like, I truly, truly believe that my biggest gift in this entire world is my mother. She is, I just feel like it's not fair to say, like, she's the best mom in the world because everybody says that. My mom is special. Like, I really, truly believe that my mom is one of God's angels, and she's just a special person. And the reason why I know there's truth to that is every single one of my friends calls my mom, Mom. And they have their moms, but they call my mom, Mom. Every person, every girlfriend, everybody I brought around my mom was like, oh my gosh, your mom is the best mother in the world. Like, she is special. Every single person I've ever brought in my life, that's how special it is. So when I say that I feel like I am blessed and I feel like I have the best mom, it's not just wordplay. I truly 100% mean it. She is hands down the best, supportive, and most loving mother. I told you guys in episode 500 that my mom has always wished great things for me. I'll tell you a quick little story because it's Mother's Day. She said that when she was driving home from the hospital with me, she was looking at billboards on her way home, and she felt like she would see me up on a billboard one day. And I know you guys are going to think that, oh, mothers say that about their kids all the time. Oh, my kid could be a star. My kid could be whatever. My mom has a daughter before me. My sister was older, and she didn't think that of my sister. Not saying that my sister's not beautiful, not an amazing person, but she just said my personality since I was been a baby has always been bright, and she always just thought that of me. She put me into like acting and modeling and stuff when I was younger. It never really worked out, and then I got into it as I got older. But having said that, although she always thought that of me, she always said to me, and I said this in episode 500, regardless of whatever you become in life, even if you're a garbage man, and not saying anything is wrong with being a garbage man, but she says that if you work in a bank, if you work at McDonald's, you're flipping fries, like, I don't care what you become. I will love you regardless of whatever you become. Just be a good person. Be a good, honest person to society, and that's all I want. And I feel like that support, knowing that I will always be able to make her happy just being a good person, I feel like that's given me the unrelentless ambition that I have, knowing that it doesn't matter whatever I try, and if I fail, that I know that she'll always be there in my corner. Like, I know no matter what happens in life, I'll always have a champion in my corner, and that's my mother. So, Mom, thank you so much for being the beautiful person you are, and not just to me, but to everybody, to all of my friends, to strangers. I've never seen one person say anything bad about you, and I love you. Thank you very much. Okay? All right. Happy Mother's Day. A happy Mother's Day to everybody and all the women around the world. All right. Let's go on to some other comments. The next one is from Dale. Dale Lynn. Dale says, While I'm in the comments, I just wanted you to know that I do stay till the end if I thumbs up it. I'm usually on my TV, but I always watch till the end of all your content. Trent, you rock. And you put American flags. Love that. Dale Lynn, thank you so much for that. I always wonder, like, do people watch all the way to the end? I always have like an outro, and I'm like, it's always the same thing at the end where I'm like, okay, if you're on YouTube, you know, we're also available on podcast platforms if you're ever going on a flay, and then podcast people come over to YouTube. But I always try to make it a little bit different, or I'll start out the outtakes, which is something I'm like, I'm really tired. And that's where I kind of just like, there's no news, there's no nothing. I kind of just like wing it. So I try to make it different just because you don't want the outro of like, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, whatever. You don't want it to be boring. And I always wonder, like, do my daily listeners listen to that outro that is pretty much the same? So really cool to know that some people out there are watching it all the way to the end. All right. And I always try to give something at the end just so it's a little bit different. Next one is, okay, I do not know what this name is. I'm just going to guess and say it's Nikki. Sorry if I'm pronouncing it. Sorry if that's not your full name. Nikki says, Trump is taking away PBS and NPR. That's why Elmo is pissed. Oscar is used to being thrown in the can, so it's just another trash day for him. I thought that comment was so funny. That was, I think, in Friday's episode 501, where Elmo put out a statement or a letter to LinkedIn saying that he's looking for a job. And I tried to research it and I couldn't figure out. According to Nikki, Trump is taking away PBS. But you see, I heard that they're moving and they're going somewhere, but they did find a home. So I don't know. Anyways, I thought that was really funny where you said Oscar is used to being thrown in the can, so this is a regular day for him. Pure comedy. Love that comment. Thank you. All right, next one is Black Girl Lost says, it's Friday. Tasha and DJ Out Louders from North Carolina, Gastonia, North Carolina. Okay, I want to shout out Tasha and DJ because when I was in Atlanta, I met a few people, content creators from North Carolina, and I was like, yo, I got so many people from North Carolina that watches the show. And in my phone, I have a lot of your comments, and I just keep it in my phone in a folder. And I went through and I found Tasha and DJs, and then you guys commented. So I just wanted to highlight, shout out to North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Shout out to Tasha and DJ, man. Next comment is from, okay, I don't know what this name is. Shake Tree or Shake Tree. Sorry, I'm not pronouncing it. It's, you know how these avatar names are. Anyways, hey Trent, hey, happy episode 500. I must say I'm not much of a podcast girl, but your podcast did and does it for me. I started watching your videos since the drop of the Diddy allegations, and I must say you are how I start my mornings and days off. I watch faithfully and enjoy every single episode, from your singing, which is pretty good and funny at the same time, to your however, laugh out loud. By the way, I said that however a couple of times today just because of this comment. I love every moment of every episode and actually hate when it ends. Then I gotta scroll through YouTube to watch nonsense. Ugh, such a pain. Anyways, happy 500th episode. Super proud of what you're doing and rooting for this channel to shoot beyond the stars. From one of your Out Louders fans, Morgan. Oh, here's your name, Morgan. Thank you, Morgan. Morgan from Reading, Pennsylvania. Also, I love the sparkly hat and getup for today's show. Morgan, thank you so much. Another person saying they watched till the end. I was super happy to hear that and see that. Thank you so much, Morgan. And shout out to Pennsylvania, because that's another state that I get a lot of views from. So shout out to PA, and that was an amazing comment. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for all your comments. I may not be able to read all of them in the comment section, but trust that I see and I read all of them before I go to bed. And of course, shout out to Aura for sponsoring and always taking care of the Out Louders. If you guys have not clicked on the below link, please click right now, or click on, or put your phones up to this QR code. Trust me, sign up to the 14-day trial just to find out if any of your information has been leaked already, all right? They'll do that in the free 14-day trial. It's super easy. It's 14 days of freeness to know if you're protected, all right? talk to my mama. She'll let you know she is very, very happy with everything that Aura has done to her, okay? I told you guys last episode, she always freaks out like AI is going to come for her phone and come for her stuff. That was my Mother's Day gift to her and a bunch of other things. But anyways, shout out to all the moms again and shout out to Aura. Make sure y'all click on the link below or on the QR code. Thank you for your comments. All right, this brings us to social discussion of the day. People on LSU campus speak about their dream build in a future partner. All right, take a listen to the video.
If you could build a girl, how would you build her?
5'4", light skin, play softball.
If you could build a boy, how would you build him?
6 foot, abs. You have to be light skin or brown skin.
If you could build a guy, how would you build him?
Dreads, a light skinned man, preferably.
If you could build a girl, how would you build her?
Hispanic, a white girl, and a light skin.
Building a dream partner. These people on LSU campus spoke about their dream build in a future partner. What are your thoughts? All right, I thought this would be interesting to talk in social discussion. As you guys know, we have talked about before the partner who you're going to choose. Yes, physical attraction is, of course, very important. However, I have been very adamant, especially to men, to choose a woman not based on the physical attraction, but on values and partnership and things beyond that, because two things. One, physical is always going to fade. We're all going to get older. And two, that's not how you're going to be able to build a family. A lot of men and some women make that choice based on physical attraction, feel like, oh my gosh, the passion, the energy between us is amazing. And it's really just based on physical. And then you have to get into a relationship and actually like live with somebody and be with somebody every day, waking up next to them. All that stuff fades, and then they wonder why the relationship is horrible. However, shout out to Morgan. However, I do also want to highlight that it is still very important to be physically attracted. And I wanted to know, if you guys had a chance to build your partner, would you? And my answer is yes. I would love to build my partner, 1,000%. I have said to girls after getting to know them, like, by the way, like, you are the person or the perfect person who I would build. And while I don't have a specific requirement, you guys have heard me talk about my friend who only likes petite women, who really likes Asian women who are 5 feet tall, and et cetera, I still feel like, you know, if God were to come down and be like, hey, you could build your perfect woman, that I would be able to. I even though I would be able to, I still don't know if, like, exactly what I would pick. You know what I mean? Like, I know, but I don't know what I would pick. I don't know if that really makes sense. So I wanted to ask you guys, we all know the things that we like in a person, even if we know it shouldn't be the priority and it maybe should be third or fourth. Could you actually really pick and know like what you'd want to build and who you would want to build? I don't know if I could. I would want to 1,000%, 100%, but I don't know what I would pick because I know how unimportant it is. I always bring you guys confusing things in social discussion, and that's the point of social discussion. It's things that I'm always on the fence about. Tall, short, I don't know. I kind of like both. You know what I'm saying? Like, I guess I would pick medium. You know what I mean? And I have said to you guys, I'm more of a body person than a face person. For sure, I love a beautiful woman, of course, but I'm more of a physical touch person. So body to me is something or more than face. But I don't know. I don't know what I would pick. So I ask you guys, if you could pick your dream person, what would you, yes or no? I don't know why you wouldn't. And if you were able to, do you know exactly what you would pick? I would have such a hard time, man. I'd have such a hard time. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, this brings us to question of the day. What's one trend influencers are doing that you're completely over? All right, I thought this was funny. The first person said influencing. This actually is going to end off as a little bit of a second discussion of the day, okay? So bear with me. Another person said all of them, no one, and I promise you, nobody is liking what influencers are doing. influencers doing nowadays. Another person said, I'm so over people crying on camera. I cannot stand people crying on camera. And y'all know I'm very supportive of my content creator community. I always try to support all my colleagues, YouTubers, TikTokers, Instagrammers. I cannot stand the crying, man. Like, how are you crying on camera? Look, I've always said, if I'm ever talking and I tell you guys a story and I end up crying, I get it. I really don't see, because you know you're on camera and I just don't see, but who knows? I don't want to ever say that it will never happen, because you never know. But 9 times out of 10, the influencers who are crying on camera, it's like they're talking and then it cuts and they're crying. Like, it seems so fake. Like, it drives me nuts. So I totally agree. Like I said, I have a bigger discussion here. Another person said, okay, I can't say this. Somebody said calling themselves influencers and that they are fitness models, but they really have OnlyFans accounts. Yo, I was so surprised by that. Sorry, I'm being naive, but I have followed like fitness people. You guys know I'm very into fitness and health or whatever. And there's a couple of girls that like I have followed. Well, okay, yeah, they're attractive, they're nice or whatever. And I'm like, just randomly click their link and they're like, OF, here's my OF account. Here's my risque content. I was shocked at how many fitness models legit are literally just on there to try to come off as fitness models, but have OF accounts. Not knocking them. I've said it repeatedly. You want to have an OF account, that's all the more power to you. I like that you're owning your own stuff. You're cutting out the middleman and making your money. All the more power to you. I was just shocked at how many there were. Somebody said, content creators that come and say, hey guys, yo, it's very hard to record something. And how do you start? Like, what else are you going to say but hey guys? But I get it. Okay, I cannot say that. Somebody said being an influencer, I'm totally over it. Overconsumption, humbly bragging. Starting off with the word so. Okay, this one is true. Waking up to an alarm while the camera is on and starting their morning routine. Yo, how are you waking up, but your camera is already set up and recording? Obviously, that wake up is fake. Clearly, that drives me nuts too. Sorry for my daily routine content creators. And I like the morning routine stuff or whatever, but I would eliminate the waking out of bed. There's a camera on you, bro. Like, how are you waking up on camera? Like, I get it, but it's fake. What's the next one? Ranting while sitting in their car. I honestly don't get the car stuff. I'm not over it, but I also don't get the car stuff. Why don't you just come inside? Anyways, nail tapping on products, that drives me nuts. True. Doing makeup and skincare while they're telling a story, and the story has nothing to do with makeup. I don't understand why that's a trend either. I don't know. I would have to defer to people that do makeup or people that wear makeup. I don't know. Somebody said those fans. I haven't seen people with fans. I've seen a couple of people. All right. This brings me to, like I said, part of discussion. Do you guys think that there might come a time where influencing is over? It is definitely oversaturated. That's not my question. Do you think it will come a time where we're done with social media? We're done with Instagram? If you guys remember 10 years ago, Instagram was not like how it is now. Instagram was really real. It was really authentic. It's really like how stories are now, where it's real people doing real things. I feel like feeds are very commercial, very, like some person said, very inauthentic, people fake crying, people setting up and recording. And the whole thing about social media was to bring us socially together, talking about social content and viewing social content. And I just wonder if the influencer world and the money will one day go on past being oversaturated and just become like too much, where people are just not interested. You hear about it already. People like, man, I'm taking time off of social media. I read somebody's comment the other day where it's like, hey, I was taking a social media break. A lot of people, I have even done that, and I'm on social media all the time. So what trends or what things are going on social media that you're over. And the bigger question is, are you over or could you see yourself over social media, period, just one day? I think is a very good question. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. All right, you guys, this brings us to sports news. All right, just going to recap what happened over the weekend. The Cavaliers finally beat the Pacers. We knew that was going to happen. We knew Pacers were not going to just sweep Cavaliers. I saw some people being like, sweep. Okay, let's not be silly. I still don't know if Pacers will even come out and win another game, to be honest with you. I think Cleveland was just cold, and now they've warmed up. We'll see what happens in that series. The Denver beat Thunder. Denver leads that series 2-1. Shocker. Dallas, sorry, I have these things right in front of me, and I'm like, what's going on? Boston beat New York. Boston now is behind 2-1. I still think Boston is going to come out of that. And the Minnesota Timberwolves beat Warriors again, and they are leading 2-1. Very, very scared. Steph Curry is not going to be back till they say around game 6. That means that they have to win at least one game without him to at least win game 6 or 7. So that series looks like it might be a wrap. I watched that game. It was actually close. The Warriors kept it close up until around like 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. Draymond got fouled out, and then it was just downhill from there. Anyways, depending on when you're watching this, the Mother's Day games that are on today are OKC and the Nuggets. I really, really pray that OKC ties that series up. I think they will. And Cavaliers are playing the Pacers at 8 p.m. I predict that the Cavaliers will win and tie up that series 2-2. All right. Like I said, depending on when you see this, if it's on Monday, then those games are over. All right. Let me know who you think is going to win in the games and what your playoff picture looks like. Let me know in the comment section below. All right, y'all. That brings this episode to a wrap. I guess it's kind of like a Mother's Day special episode, maybe, because I'm dedicating it to the moms out there. So once again, happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers and non-mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day to all females. All right. Y'all are all a blessing. Okay. Thank you guys so much. All right. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Before I let you leave, I just want to remind you of all the ways to keep up with the Trent Out Loud podcast. For those of you who are used to watching the show on YouTube, if you're ever going on a flight or ever in the car or somewhere you don't have access to internet, do not fear. We're available on all podcast platforms. You can just download the episode and take us with you. Head on over to any podcast site, type in Trent Out Loud, the show will pop up. Don't forget to hit the follow and subscribe button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new show. And just like YouTube, we upload daily. Now, vice versa, for those of you who are used to listening to the Trent Out Loud podcast on podcast platforms, thank you so much for your downloads and your clicks. We love all of that. However, we would like for you guys to come and hang out with us over on YouTube with the Out Louders. It is a vibe over here. The comment section is lit. Come hang with us, all right? Head on over to YouTube, type in Trent Out Loud, and the show will pop up, just like how it would pop up on podcast platforms. A couple of housekeeping things you're going to need to do. Hit that subscribe button, all right? That gives you membership into the Out Loud family. Hit the like button. We got to get the algorithming. Most important, please comment below. This is a community that we need. I need your voices. I sit up here and talk about things. If you don't answer or you don't join in, there's no point. I'm not doing this by myself. I'm doing this with y'all, right? It's the Out Louders podcast. Maybe we should change the name to the Out Louders podcast. That'd be dope, right? Anyways, make sure you comment. If you do not want to join in on the conversation, that's cool too. Just type in, hey Trent, what's up? Watching from wherever it is that you're watching from. This is a global podcast. I have the analytics, but I just like for everybody to see where everybody is watching from. Like I said, we're trying to start, and we have started a global community. All right. If you're really enjoying the episode or episodes, please try to share it with your family, friends, and loved ones, because it definitely helps in growing the channel, and we appreciate y'all. For those of you who want to follow me outside of the show, I'm available on all social media platforms. I hope social media stays around. It's always the same handle, Trent Out Loud. I'm most active on Instagram. I put a lot of your comments in my stories, so check me out there. And we have recently started a new blog page on Instagram called Formerly Out Loud, FORMALLY Out Loud, Formerly Out Loud on Instagram. there is where we will put extended video clips, the video clips that we put here on YouTube or on podcasts that we can't play the whole thing for swearing or copyright reasons. We'll put the whole video on there. So if you want to see the extra long, you can go follow us there. All right. Happy Mother's Day once again. I'm going to put up the QR code once again. Sign up to Aura. Thank you very much for the sponsorship. Thank you for everybody who has signed up. I've been getting amazing feedback. Everybody that has signed up has DM'd or emailed and let me know that Aura has caught in things that they didn't know that were already breached. So when you sign up, send me an email or send me a DM. Let me know what they find. Let me know your experience. Shout out to Aura. Shout out to all y'all. And thank you to all the moms. Love y'all. Peace. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It's your boy, Trent Out Loud. Peace!